Every sport has their proving ground. In off-road racing, Johnson Valley in the Mojave Desert has become the proving ground for a whole new generation of off-road racers looking to make a name for themselves in the most grueling and prestigious off-road event in the world. On the bleeding edge of off-road car design, the 4400 class of vehicles is the Swiss Army knife of off-road racing. Big rocks, loose gravel, staggering inclines, and flat desert. These vehicles have evolved to not only go fast, but to go fast in everything.
Our new motors are 830 horse, and in the car to do like almost 140 miles an hour on a lake bed, and then the stuff that they go over, I mean, you can drive right over a car if you wanted.
Huge names are here: Slauson, Scheer, the Campbells, Healy, Miller, Von Gittin Jr., and more, all to do battle at this, the 2020 Nitto King of the Hammers, powered by OPTIMA Batteries. Since its birth in 2007, King of the Hammers has grown from a single race with 12 competitors to a week-long celebration of off-road mayhem.
I remember the first year I went, didn't have a spare tire. I was by myself, had a 10-gallon fuel tank.
In 2010, we were out here with campers and $50,000 race cars. So now we're out here with full-blown semis, full-blown race teams, and we're in $300,000 race cars.
It features more than 500 race teams and 5 main events: the UTVs, the Everyman Challenge, T1s, Motos, and the Unlimited 4400 class. Earlier this week, we witnessed UTV history as first-time competitor Hunter Miller outdrove a talented field, including Kyle Cheney and Phil Blurton, to take home the Can-Am UTV King of the Hammers title.
I don't even know what to say, next to the day my wife said yes, this is the best day of my life.
In a finale determined by seconds, the Lovell brothers and their battle-hardened Ford Ranger held on to first place to secure themselves the 4800 class four-wheel parts Everyman Challenge title.
It's just so great to be out here with my family, great team, great sponsors. It takes so much to put this race together, and I can't believe we won it.
Dan Fresh, driving with a broken wrist, took home the 4500 class trophy. And winning the 4600 stock class was Jesse Haynes and his unique diesel Mahindra Roxor. Bryce Menzies dominated the 2020 Toyo Tires Desert Invitational presented by Monster Energy, outracing Luke McMillan and ballistic BJ Baldwin.
My hat's off to Dave Cole, King of the Hammers. Thank you guys for putting this event on. It's unreal. 100 grand, baby, 100 grand.
And finally, of 4 riders who actually made it to the Gold Loop in the 2020 Progressive King of the Motos, Cody Webb returned from injury to grab his 5th Hammers title.
It's honestly a confidence booster. Obviously I want to win when I come down here, but I knew I'm not as fully prepared as some of the other riders coming into the season, and I'm just honestly thrilled that I just never gave up and kept pushing through it.
A week of racing in Johnson Valley, California has led us to this, the original class of racers that started King of the Hammers, providing the ultimate finale in the world's most challenging off-road race.
The 4400 class is insane. I mean, these cars are very unique, purpose-built vehicles. They got to be tough, they got to take punishment, they got to go fast. It's just insane what they do. I can't explain it.
The 4400 class is a hungry beast that stalks, adapts, and morphs on a progressive front with one goal in mind: to conquer and go fast on any terrain put in front of it.
Year after year, the competition at King of the Hammers gets stiffer and stiffer. Dudes are building more and more exotic vehicles. They're bringing out cars with way more travel and way more horsepower.
The 4400 vehicles are highly modified and can reach speeds of over 100 miles per hour in the desert. They are not limited on tire size, engine, or chassis design. They must have a transfer case and be able to drive in four-wheel drive for technical rock crawling. The design of these vehicles is ever evolving.
The more the sport has evolved, cars have gotten bigger, wider, longer, and really that's due to King of the Hammers.
In its 13-year existence, King of the Hammers has only crowned 5 kings: Shannon Campbell, Randy Slauson, Jason Shear, Loren Healy, and Erik Miller. These kings have put the sport on the map and have brought more fans, drivers, companies, and race teams into the sport. Shannon Campbell represents everything that 4400 stands for. He's a master fabricator and talented driver who's known not only for his hardcore driving style, but for his innovative ideas and craftsmanship. He's also bred quite the talented family of racers that are becoming off-road royalty.
Shannon was always kind of my idol coming into this sport. He was always the one that mentored me to always take the time to shake the kids' hands and to tell somebody, you know, what a great job they're doing. You watch him hand off his trophies or pull a body panel off the side of his truck.
Oh, good old dad. My dad, Shannon, it's awesome that he's a 3-time king. I have learned so much from him. I wouldn't have my driving skills if I didn't start out with him. He's been my co-driver, my spotter, my main pit crew guy, and he's shown me everything I know.
My dad is an amazing driver, an amazing father, an amazing fabricator, and you know, he's definitely an idol. So, and I really strive to be like that someday.
Randy Slauson. He's a 2-time King of the Hammers champion, the man behind the Bomber chassis, a proven winning vehicle design out in Johnson Valley.
I've built a new car almost every year. You know, I make refinements, developed a shock package very specifically for this car and for this terrain. You know, the car looks old school at this point. I'm still running just as hard and just as fast as the top guys out here.
3-time King Jason Shear has racked up top 25 finishes in 8 King of the Hammers races since 2008 and has won the event in 2009, 2018, and 2019.
I go there in 08 as a co-driver for my friend Jeff, and I'm like, this is it. So John Reynolds wins the first one, Shannon Campbell wins the second one. We had been rock crawling with Shannon, and I went to Shannon and said, okay, I want to build a car just for this. And in 2009, we raced my first King of the Hammers where I was the driver. And dude, we got super lucky, won the race, and like it started my career. So as King of the Hammers grew, my racing career really grew at the same time.
In a sport that currently hails IFS and IRS design as the future, 2-time King Erik Miller has remained steadfast in refining his solid axle design, touting its dominance in the rocks and consistent speed improvements in the desert.
This year particularly, we spent a lot of time really dialing in the suspension. And when I say that, I don't mean tuning, I mean making changes. We actually stretched the wheelbase on these cars 6 inches, which is pretty significant. We came out to build a King of the Hammers winning platform. And you know, I don't take that lightly. And it doesn't just happen overnight, and you don't just stay with the same thing, because if you're not changing, you know, you're falling behind.
When we return, we meet a talented family of racers out for Hammer's blood, the Gomez brothers. Then we sit down with 2 huge names piloting Ford power plants, Loren Healy and Vaughn Gittin Jr. Welcome back to the 2020 Nitto King of the Hammers, powered by OPTIMA Batteries.
He is our only back-to-back unofficial winner of the 2019 Nitto King of the Hammers, Jason Shear. What a class act.
So, I started in 2008 at the first King of the Hammers. This idea to go fast through the desert and fast through the rocks came about, and we're like, wow, this is both things that we all want to do. So a whole group of people decided that King of the Hammers was the perfect venue for the next stage of like that evolution of rock crawling / desert racing. So we had a third, a second, and 2 firsts in a row. And if we can get another time up on the box, I don't think anybody will ever touch that. In my opinion, the reason for our success is the team. Campfire after the Hammers is full of excuses, right? We were doing great, we were in the lead, and then this broke, this happened, we lost this part. The team of guys that build the car are responsible for every aspect of it. Those are the guys that have separated ourselves from the rest of the field. Winning 4 is gonna be cool, and it'll happen someday if it doesn't happen this year. But right now I know we are switched on.
While there are multiple families and teams out here competing in the 4400 class, the Gomez brothers have to be one of the most passionate. These 4 family members went from sharing one vehicle at King of the Hammers when they first got into racing, to now piloting 8 vehicles across multiple classes. In a Hammers world where every second counts, the Gomez brothers have become known for extremely fast pit times and not being afraid to put the hammer down in all types of terrain.
So in 2012, me and Marcos, my oldest brother, were in our office working, and we started pulling up YouTube videos of racing, and we saw Shannon Campbell do a front flip in a single seat car, and then that's when I think we decided we need to go do that.
Well, it was a funny story. Dave Cole came up to us about 2 years ago and said, hey guys, if you guys stop from 100% out there and drop it down to maybe 85, you guys will start winning and finishing races. So we'd go out there, we'd go for broke, all or nothing, and we'd either flop or roll or wreck or DNF, and we stepped it back a little bit, got a little smarter about our driving and are being more consistent, and also with our team. We have an amazing pit crew, my crew chief, the guys that work on the cars, they put their blood, sweat, tears into it.
So we all got the same radio channel, which could be really good, really bad, but then we also have SATCOMs independent too. So then when we get back into there, SATCOMs is for more strategy, more independent one-on-one, but radio, all 4 of us now on the same radio channel. We were on the same channel on UTV race on Sunday. If you would have heard us, it was a good time.
Once that green flag drops, it's our own team. I mean, we race against each other. I race against Marcos, his older brother, JP, my younger brother. And then now we have Darian Gomez, my kid actually. He's the young one in the mix. He's 20 years old, and just a big family affair. We enjoy racing, and we definitely enjoy doing it with the family.
I co-drove for my dad on Sunday for the UTV race. I pretty much treated it like a pre-run day, to be honest. I mean, I was sitting in the passenger seat. I took probably like 200 notes throughout the whole day while racing on Sunday.
Partnering with King of the Hammers makes perfect sense for Ford. If you look at the growth in off-road motorsports and what's been happening out here, it totally mirrors what we've seen in the growth of rugged trucks and utilities. So when it comes to the all-new Ford Bronco, we're actually testing it right here in the same rugged terrain that King of the Hammers races.
We've been hearing for years that people want the Bronco to come back, and now is the perfect time to do it. Working with Von Gittin Jr. and LOREN HEALY makes total sense for us. They're 2 of the ultimate fun havers, and when it comes to a race like King of the Hammers, it's great to have both here.
It's amazing to see Ford out here supporting this scene. I mean, this is their people, and I know they're all really happy. They've got a product coming that will support this lifestyle, support the culture around this, and I'm just pumped to be waving the flag and carrying on that Bronco racing heritage. So for Ford coming out here, starting to launch the Bronco in my environment with King of the Hammers and with Ultra 4, and just supporting the lifestyle and all the enthusiast stuff that has gotten me started and why I race and what I do with my family and all the fun stuff that we do. The prestige of Ford and all the heritage that comes with them racing in Baja and all the years of Bronco and then bringing that back out here to Ultra 4. It's huge. I mean, I couldn't be more excited seeing that Bronco logo and having a Ford-powered Ultra 4 truck. It's one of those kind of pinch me moments that I'm looking forward into this year for sure.
When we return, it's game on here at King of the Hammers, as the Unlimited class attacks a 2-mile short course in qualifying to determine who will get pole position in the main event. This episode of World of X Games is brought to you by Nitto Tires, Monster Energy, Ford, and OPTIMA Batteries. Welcome back to the 2020 Nitto King of the Hammers, powered by OPTIMA Batteries. After watching the UTVs, the Everyman Challenge, and the T1 trucks compete this week in Johnson Valley, our 4400 class of competitors are itching to get out on the Ford qualifying course.
Sticking with our standard game plan, just calm, cool, collected, not shooting for the pole. I still say on a short course, we probably can't pull a pole against the IFS guys.
These are the 4400 Unlimited big boys, all looking to nab a fast time which will provide good seating in the main event. There was a time at the Hammers where you could make the top 20 with a decent run. But now drivers have to push their vehicles to their absolute limits because of the caliber of competition and the amazing custom racing machines we're seeing out here today.
These days, everybody's running so hard and so fast. There's some really great drivers with some great programs, and you really need to bring your A-team effort and do the best possible job and have a perfect day.
Qualifying is through a 2-mile short course that starts in Hammertown. It goes up and over Short Bus, comes around the mountain, up one more rock section, through the Ford Bronco Arch, and back into the Talladega berms of Hammertown. Variables today will be sun in the eyes, shadows, and the condition of the course itself as 100 competitors attack it. Mike Bergman kicks off qualifying with an impressive 2-minute 41-second time, which sets the bar. Jason Blanton has just rebuilt his 2-seat IFS Jimmy's chassis and is sporting 1,000 horsepower. He flies up Short Bus, comes around the corner, and hauls into Hammertown for a new leading time of 2 minutes 39 seconds. Jordan Pellegrino goes all out with no hesitation for a 2:39 time, enough to put him in second place behind Blanton. 3-time King Shannon Campbell is the first one in a group of the event's top pros called Power Hour to break 250, which surprisingly only puts him in 8th place, with a pack of fast guys behind him. 2-time King ERIK Miller airs off the top of Short Bus and charges down the backside, getting up on 2 wheels through the turn. He makes quick work of the final rock section for a time of 2 minutes 44 seconds. Marcos Gomez comes in too hot, catching an edge and ending upside down. Bailey Cole and Von Gittin Jr. are hundreds of seconds apart with impressive 2:45 times. Heavy hitters Levi Shirley and Josh Blyler all push hard, dropping times in the low 240s. Loren Healy, driving a brand new single-seat IFS car, drops a new record low of 2:35, almost 3 seconds ahead of second-place competitor Jason Scheer.
That was the first time I'd ever put it into a race environment. I've been testing and tuning and, getting comfortable with the truck, but, until you actually throw it into that qualifying time, you don't really know exactly how it's going to do. But, I felt like I was playing it pretty mellow. I wasn't overdriving the car, so I was definitely excited to be, 3 seconds ahead of the next person.
The question is, when Loren hits the 200-mile main next, without a co-driver, will he run into any problems, and can he handle them all by himself? And so our qualifying field is set with Loren Healy, Jason Scheer, Jason Blanton, and Jordan Pellegrino first off the line. Up next, it's the race everyone's been waiting for, the 209-mile Nitto King of the Hammers, powered by OPTIMA Batteries. Welcome back to the 2020 Nitto King of the Hammers, powered by OPTIMA Batteries. Today is the big day for the 4400 class of racers. After starting the morning with a Color Guard national anthem and U.S. Marine Corps flyover, 99 cars line up at the starting line, 2 at a time, side by side.
Yeah, today is the big dance. It is the 2020 Nitto King of the Hammers, powered by OPTIMA Batteries. There's 99 amazing race cars lined up for the start of this race.
You know what, we're going to give it our best for sure, but one thing I can tell you is that I appreciate all these fans and all the support of everybody that came out here and cheering us on. It makes a huge difference when we see you out there. We're going to go drive our best and try to put this 4-wheel parts Fox car on top of the box.
Yeah, I think this race is going to be won in the rocks, so just taking it a little bit easier and not taking any chances out here in the desert because there's a lot of gotchas out here.
It's a long day here. We got to go out, be smart in the desert, keep the car alive, have something to race on lap 3.
Lap 1 of today's race is a 77-mile desert loop with a couple rock sections in Cougar Buttes and Backdoor. Laps 2 and 3 are the technical 66-mile rock course loops, which will separate the pros from the amateurs and definitely thin the 99 car crowd here today.
And here on the start line in pole position is 2-time king Loren Healy, and next to him is 3-time king Jason Scheer. Here we go, listen to those horsepowers roar. It looks like Shearer's got the lead over Loren Healy currently. Let's not forget, Jason Scheer is a 2-seater vehicle and he has Jason Berger alongside of him, whereas Loren Healy is running a single-seat vehicle. That could be very important later on in the race to see how that plays out.
We're ready for the race and we're ready to go out there and repeat this thing for a 3rd time. And we know what it takes to go win it. We understand the pace, we understand all these things.
Within the first 5 minutes of the race, drama ensues.
Oh, we've got a roll over there in the short course, and we think that might be Darian Gomez.
Bailey Campbell, the only female driver competing today, will be racing against her father, brother, and fiance.
My main goal every year is to beat my dad or my brother. I beat their butts pretty good last year. I got podiums and I placed higher in both Nationals and West Coast, so it was a big accomplishment for me.
Bailey Campbell's car is designed for King of the Hammers. It carries a huge amount of fuel. The idea being that you can drive further and faster into the desert and then make those crucial pit stops at a later time to the other racers. Eric Miller and Josh Byler and Rusty Byler, they've changed these Miller Fab cars this year. What they've done is they've actually extended the wheelbase by 6 inches. That has given them another 4 inches of travel in the back end.
This extra wheelbase really helps us out here in the desert. It gives us, the ability to run with some of the front-running IFS cars.
The leaders head into Cougar Buttes, which is technical, but nothing like these guys will see later in the race. There's lots of different lines. If you want to pass in the rocks, you're able to do it in Cougar Buttes. Most vehicles will stop for fuel in the Fab School Remote Pit 1, where teams will be waiting to check fluids and the structural integrity of the vehicles. Many of these vehicles will be rocking Steel-It polyurethane top coats, which is amazing technology, allowing crew members to weld directly into the coatings to repair the parts underneath.
Just hearing that Paul Herschel, who qualified in 30th position, has made his way up to 3rd on adjusted time. That's just wow.
You don't want to go too fast because then you're going to make a mistake. So you just kind of pace yourself with the leaders, and 50% of the leaders are going to fall off and break their car already at that pace. And if you can hold together at that pace, then it comes down to a race at the end.
Everyone has been talking about how fast Paul is and what a great builder he is. He knows these vehicles and knows how hard he can push them. Casey Curry has made a huge move in the desert, putting himself only 2 minutes and 5 seconds behind the race leader, Jason Shearer.
To myself, I feel the competition is yourself and the terrain. Dude, that's what it's all about. You're not racing head to head with anybody, but I mean, those guys like Jason Shearer and Loren Healy and Paul Herschel, that you want to go out there and beat them, but dude, to have a good day and win this thing, it ain't about them. It's gonna be about having a perfect day.
Shearer is controlling the pace. He knows what his vehicle can do, and he knows Curry's on a mission to catch him.
So our team is pretty switched on right now, so to think that we couldn't go out and win this year would be hard to say. I feel like we have everything going for us to go win again.
Unfortunately, Curry has pushed too hard and breaks down an hour and 30 minutes into the race. And King of the Hammers is starting to rack up some attrition numbers. A pack of racers including Raul Gomez, Paul Herschel, and Cameron Steele are making their way through backdoor. There has never been a King of the Hammers where so many cars are this close together at the end of lap 1.
Well, look at this. This is a very slick pit operation here from Jason Shearer. Now, they'll only want to be putting fuel in. You'll see that fuel tower there. Now, that's interesting. They're holding him here. It looks like they're doing some work inside the front suspension.
Still to come, the real drama begins as the rocks take over here at the 2020 Nitto King of the Hammers, powered by OPTIMA Batteries. Don't go away. This episode of World of X Games is brought to you by Nitto Tires, Monster Energy, Ford, and Steel-It. Welcome back to the 2020 Nitto King of the Hammers, powered by OPTIMA Batteries. As we begin lap 2 today out here in Johnson Valley, California, Paul Herschel has made his way from 35th position into 3rd. Unfortunately, his team discovers he's leaking fluid.
We're making it work. We just got to keep going. If we can get this diff fixed up, we can keep going and hopefully get on the podium.
Randy Slauson started in 73rd position this morning and has powered his way into the top 20.
We spoke about this man only earlier today, and that is Randy Slauson, two-time king, of course. This is a brand new car for Randy. He's been testing out here for the last few weeks.
I'm not going to be looking over my shoulder for anybody this year. I'm starting from the back, so they're going to have to be looking over their shoulder for me. It's going to be challenging. I'm going to have to pace myself and keep my cool. I'm going to have to really capitalize on every passing opportunity as it comes.
Slauson loves the rocks and is expected to make some more passes in lap 2.
we have Eric Miller. Looks like making big moves up through Emerson Dry Lake, about to head into the rocks.
This is his moment. He knows once he gets into the rocks, this is where he shines. And we were talking about it earlier. You're going to see this when you watch this guy. He has an unbelievable flow through the rocks.
Back in Hammertown, Shannon Campbell is working on a full transmission swap. The Campbell team has already sent Wayland and Bailey Campbell out for lap 2, so they can now focus on Shannon Campbell's car.
Yeah, a lot of people, besides my team, you know, there's a lot of people just helping, and hopefully we can catch the pack.
Still on course, Jason Shear has been passed by both Loren Healy and JP Gomez.
That puts Loren Healy in what we're showing now in the physical lead as well. So we do not know what's going on with Jason Shear.
2 single-seat IFS cars are leading the race in lap 2. Our physical race leader, Loren Healy, is ripping through the King Shocks testing zones. Loren's strategy is to back off his usual blistering pace to save his car for lap 3.
And there's Loren Healy picking his way through the rocks.
And you can start to see the size of his boulders now, but you can already see that he's having to pick lines to make sure he can get through.
But JP Gomez is hot on his tail, and Loren can't let him get too close.
That is JP Gomez now picking his way up through Aftershock. So he's almost in visual contact with Loren Healy.
Wayland Campbell picks his way through Aftershock, using little bursts of speed to keep his momentum going. Steam starts to pour out of the vehicle. Wayland decides to power through Aftershock to get to the next pit stop for repairs. Loren Healy drops down the backside of Jackhammer, which will put him into the technical rock trails of this lap.
Watching Loren Healy coming down through Jack, this is incredible stuff. Raul Gomez, who we saw yesterday in the T1 Desert Invitational, he's been on a charge. But yeah. Raul Gomez has made up 2 minutes in under 10 miles. That's astonishing on these trails.
In first place, Loren Healy. Second, JP Gomez. Third place now, Raul Gomez. Then Jason Shearer. Then Bailey Campbell.
Chocolate Thunder is considered one of the easier trails at Hammers, but has been torn up this week by traffic.
But look at this. This is Loren Healy, our current race leader. He has driven this trail probably 1,000 times. He normally wouldn't even spin a wheel going up through Chocolate Thunder. Look, that's how different this is.
It is absolutely torn up there. That's the exact spot yesterday where we flopped a razor just out there having fun.
Jason Shear takes a few stabs at the same trouble spot, while JP Gomez observes.
Oh, look at that. Fantastic driving here from JP Gomez. He just sees the line and picks it off. You see how he actually attacked the rocks there, so he was actually driving up on top of the rocks to make the pass there.
Bailey Cole and Cameron Steele are locked in a battle to see who can climb Chocolate Thunder first. Both drivers make quick work of the section, and Bailey will have to find another spot to pass Cameron. Loren Healy has an issue and has to get out of his car to inspect it. Jason Shear and JP Gomez pass Loren. JP Gomez needs to stay right on Shear to hold on to his adjusted time lead. Bailey Campbell passes Cameron Steele and is now 30 seconds behind Jason Shear on adjusted time.
Oh, we've got a battle going on here. We've got Bailey Campbell picking her way past Cameron Steele.
Bailey is having a phenomenal race halfway through lap 2, hoping to be the first ever Queen of the Hammers.
Look at Bailey making quick work of that right line.
Now, this young lady is only seconds off the lead on adjusted time, so it's going to be very interesting to see where she is when she gets out into the desert and starts blasting her way back towards Hammertown.
I've been battling getting on the podium for years now in the Ultra 4 series. I think it's just a matter of keeping my car together and more of a game plan from when we start off.
Jason Shear is picking his way through a difficult trail called Spooners.
And this is Jason Shearer, our physical race leader at the moment, battling with Bailey Campbell, who we were talking about moments ago, for adjusted time.
On his home stretch back to Hammertown, Cameron Steele has a problem, and that's going to cost him valuable time.
Looks like they've already done the repair, getting the car back up. That's going to cost them huge in time, though.
And just like that, Jason Shear, Loren Healy, and JP Gomez are not moving.
Yeah, we're still looking at Loren, definitely still stopped.
Bailey Campbell continues to charge as the first driver through backdoor.
She's so patient, she's so calculated in all of her moves, and that's exactly what needs to be done.
Yeah, so smooth down that dropped off back door too as well.
She is now our physical race leader, coming into Hammertown for another 30 gallons of fuel.
We got all smiles, everybody's giving handshakes and high fives. How cool is it? She's in front of her brother, in front of her fiance, in front of her dad, and Bailey's out there owning this thing.
This is, it's a long race, and she's picked a great strategy, and she's got a great team, a great pit crew, and she's a Campbell.
When we return, it's the final lap of the 2020 Nitto King of the Hammers, powered by OPTIMA Batteries. Can Bailey Campbell keep up her pace and stay out of trouble to become the first ever Queen of the Hammers? Stay tuned to find out. Welcome back to the 2020 Nitto King of the Hammers, powered by OPTIMA Batteries. While Cameron Steele's ultra-fast in the desert, Bailey Campbell may have the advantage when she gets into the rocks due to her rock racing experience. Behind Steele is Josh Bleiler, driving a Miller Pro chassis solid axle car, proving to everyone that you can still be competitive in the solid axle vehicle.
Josh Beiler's in an ERIK Miller Pro chassis, so that's our first solid axle car. Really keeping up with the IFS cars, and we had this discussion a couple of times, but Josh is proving to us that you can be competitive in this solid axle car.
A pack of racers have grouped together to complete lap 2.
Levi Shirley, then a mile behind him we have Bailey Cole, then behind him, the man himself, it's Randy Slauson. Just look at how many places Randy's made up.
Randy Slauson started 73rd off the line this morning and has moved all the way up into 3rd place behind Cameron Steele. Also making a statement out here today is Marcos Gomez, who started at the end of the pack in 97th position.
This is a winning car right here. It has it. All I have to do is keep it together.
Bailey Campbell rips across Emerson Lake, trying to stay far ahead of Cameron Steele.
I would love to see a new king crowned this year, no questions asked. I'd love it even more if we had our very first ever queen.
She suddenly comes to a stop with a heartbreaking water pump issue.
This is edge of your seat stuff. It looks like the steering might be an issue.
Yeah, you can see that Bailey has taken her gloves off as well, and looks like it's going to be all hands on deck right now. This is terrible news.
Cameron Steele passes Bailey Campbell while dragging a tow rope behind him.
That rope, as I was saying before, is dragging behind him. That can become an anchor really quick in the desert, and you can see it sort of picking up rocks and throwing them around.
Coming into this race, nobody anticipated Chocolate Thunder to be the gladiator pit it is today.
Yeah, what I'm seeing right now in Chocolate Thunder reminds me of the good old days in Sledgehammer back in 2008, 2009. We get all these cars on there.
Our current race leader, Cameron Steele, is working his way through rocks that are double the size of his vehicle.
Those are hard hits. When you come down and it's just metal to rock, it just jars your teeth out.
Josh Beiler will really fancy his chances of passing Cameron right here.
So that was a pretty surreal moment when we ran up at Cameron, and I'd seen Cameron on top. His co-driver, I assume they were winching. His co-driver was on the way back into the car. And I said, Jared, you just got to trust me on this. This doesn't look like the good line, but this is the way these cars sneak through. So we kind of high-sided, went up around, and one-shotted it through, and that gave us the opportunity to get around Cameron when those guys were getting back in.
Meanwhile, Marcos Gomez has made up incredible time in the desert and now holds a 3-minute corrected time lead over Cameron Steele and Josh Blyler.
Marcos Gomez, who's on a real charge here. Let's not forget he started at the back of the pack this morning.
Blyler is the first one into Chocolate Thunder.
But you
Look
can
at
see
this,
him getting
huge
some serious wheelies in there. He's pushing that car back behind him too.
So we knew Cameron was on us. Every time we'd make a corner, we could look back and he was only a few hundred yards behind us. So we knew he was coming. We knew if we had a chance of staying ahead of him, it was going to be in the rocks. I knew once we got to the desert with a guy like him, we were going to be smoked.
Cameron went to the left, which we haven't seen a lot of IFS cars take that left line, but Cameron
makes
making
it look
quick
so
work
easy.
of it. Oh my goodness, that was so fast.
Blyler's first into the desert, and now the sprint is on. And just when you think Steele has a chance to catch Blyler, the Hammers come to collect.
We just got information from his crew that he has broken a steering rack. Cameron Steele is out.
That first place is a poison chalice at the moment. I'm not sure I'd want to be there. We've seen earlier today, we saw Jason Shearer in the lead, broken. Later today, we saw Loren Healy.
Out.
Then we saw Randy Slauson.
Out.
Bailey Campbell.
Broken.
Cameron Steele.
Out.
So now, Josh Blyler, Bailey Cole, and Marcos Gomez are our physical leaders. But on adjusted time, Gomez is a good 20 minutes ahead of Blyler. John Webb and Eric Miller round out our top 5.
Eric Miller is actually still in that top 5. Now that is somebody you cannot ever count out.
Our second and third place physical leaders, Bailey Cole and Marcos Gomez, attack Chocolate Thunder together.
That's that left line right there.
Well, if we actually, look at that. He just flies over it. Brilliant driving here from Bailey Cole.
Eric Miller has been the quiet and deadly assassin out here today with smooth and consistent driving.
I like a little bit of corrected time on my side out here at King of the Hammers, especially in the desert. This is a very, very fast race, but it's a very, very long race.
He passes the corrected time leader, Marcos Gomez. But remember, Miller started in 13th position this morning and needs to get at least 15 minutes ahead of Gomez for the win. Josh Blyler has never been on the podium at King of the Hammers before, and he's about to taste victory.
Oh, look at this.
Is that Blyler?
Yes, it is. Oh my goodness.
Wow, how did he manage that?
I was positive we just threw the race away. I thought the day was over and I was going to get back to the pits and the guys were going to beat me up. But he yelled in the cage, when it's on the wheels, don't wait for me. And I laughed at him and I said, I had no intentions of waiting on you. And started it up, 0 oil pressure. And we were 2 miles away from the biggest race in the country. So totally nuked that motor coming to the finish line and just really, really glad it stayed together because it shouldn't have.
And our race leader in provisional first position is Josh Blyler, and he's heading towards town now.
7 hours of racing on the most difficult course in the world has led us to this. The first competitor to cross the finish line at the 2020 Nitto King of the Hammers, powered by OPTIMA Batteries, is Josh Blyler.
Josh Blyler gets the checkered flag, throwing that dust absolutely everywhere.
Blyler watches anxiously as Marcos Gomez sprints to back door.
Going through the whoops, boom, upper right arm just goes off. I'm doing about 85, I almost lose it. Say to come down, my heart sank.
Not happy.
No. Oh, no, you can see him hitting the steering wheel.
He's not happy.
He's punching the steering wheel. Oh, Marcus. Oh, Marcus.
2-time king Eric Miller makes a clean sweep through back door to be the second driver to cross the finish line. Now, Erik's got to watch as Marcos Gomez makes his courageous return into Hammertown to see how the podium shakes out. Marcos Gomez arrives into Hammertown, an incredible feat after busting an upper arm.
So good to see as Marcos Gomez crosses the line.
Unfortunately, he's 16 minutes behind Josh Blyler, not grabbing the win, but he's done enough to make the podium in second place.
It's now official. We now have a new king.
Unbelievable. Josh Blyler is the new king of the hammers. Could he have done it with any more drama coming into the last mile of the race, barrel roll, and then leave his co-driver?
And look at this class act. There's Jason Scherer right there, right away, ready to hand him the scepter. That is awesome to see Jason down there.
I'm honored, I'm humbled. I don't know what I did in life to make all the stars align to do this, but truly grateful.
Thank you to Ultra 4, King of the Hammer, staff, my family, my crew. Oh man, I'm just right now, I'm so close. We want to win this thing. Everybody only remembers the winner.
I'm really proud of Josh, and there's no one here in Hammertown any more deserving. I mean, he puts in the early mornings and the late nights, and the whole Big B team is dedicated to winning this race. Like I said, this is just like a dream come true for me, honestly.
Bailey Cole, John Webb, and Raul Gomez round out our top 6. Congratulations to our podium, Josh Blyler, Marcos Gomez, and Erik Miller at the 2020 Nitto King of the Hammers, powered by OPTIMA Batteries.